Okay, and if you can't tell, our next project is all about watermelon. The watermelon seed. I love watermelon. Chomp, chomp, chomp. It's the best. Ever since I was a teeny tiny baby crocodile, it's been my favorite. Chomp, slurp, chomp. I like it for breakfast. I like it for lunch. I like a big salty slam for dinner. And I love it for dessert. I love watermelon. Ah, shoot. Oh, hold on. Gulp. I just swallowed a seed. I swallowed a seed. It's falling. It's growing in my guts. Soon, vines will come out of my ears. My stomach will stretch. My skin will turn pink. I don't want to be in a fruit salad. Somebody please help me. Grumble, grumble. Oh no, I can feel it growing inside me. It's happening right now. My stomach feels funny. Burp. Oh, here's the seed. That was too close. No more melon for me. Never again. Well, maybe just a teeny tiny bite. Chomp, chomp. Oh my goodness, that silly crocodile. Boys and girls, I'm going to keep it on this page for a second because at the end of this project, we need to draw some seeds on our watermelon. So let's take a good look at those watermelon seeds.
Yes.
Okay.
Take your case off. It won't be as heavy.
So the very first thing we need in your supply bag, you need to find a white piece of paper. Let's find a white piece of paper. Good. And let's get a pencil. And a Sharpie marker. And let's find your red watercolor paint. Let's find your green watercolor paint.
And the black one.
Let's get a water cup with some water in it. A paintbrush. And a paper towel or an old cloth to dry your paintbrush.
Cloth. Where you go? Oh, right there. Paper towel and a cloth.
Very good.
I don't even care.
So everything on your screen is what you need.
No.
Let's look up at the screen. Everything on your screen is what you need.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. So we're going to start by drawing our piece of watermelon. And we know that the shape of a watermelon is a triangle. So let's make a big triangle on our paper. It almost looks like a pizza.
Perfect. Then we have a big one, Mom.
Good, big, oh, I see big watermelon slices out there.
Big watermelon.
And then at the top,
You understand?
you can make the line to divide the green part from the red part.
Okay.
So I have my triangle for the watermelon shape, and then I made my horizontal line to divide the green part at the top and the red part that we're going to paint. Okay.
The paintbrush.
Now here's the fun part. Let's grab our paintbrush. Let's grab our red watercolor paint.
I got my red watercolor.
Let's wet our brush, right? Now, there's a couple ways we can do this. One watercolor technique is called a wet on wet watercolor technique. Wet on wet. That means the paper's wet first. So let's watch this. If you wet the paper first, and then put the paint on top, watch what happens. Whoa. That's called bleeding. The paint is bleeding on top of the paper. You might want to try that.
I'm doing that. So,
That is called a wet on wet watercolor technique. The other one is a dry on wet. It's a wet on dry watercolor technique. Sorry, not enough coffee today. Wet on dry watercolor technique. That means the paper's dry. So my watercolor is wet, okay? But the paper's dry. Let's watch that. Do you see the difference? Okay, so on the side, it's wet on dry. In the middle, it's wet on wet. I hope that really shows through on the camera here. Okay, so with the wet on wet, you get more value showing. With the wet on wet, you get more value showing. You can see more lights and darks. With the wet on dry, when the paper's dry, there aren't as many lights and darks. But let's watch. In order to make watercolor paints lighter, you add more water. In order to make watercolor paints lighter, add more water. There's no white watercolor paint. So if you want it lighter, you have to add more water and less paint. So maybe this side of the watermelon's light and the other side of the watermelon's dark. Now we're not cutting this out. Well, I'm not, but maybe once yours dries, you want to cut it out?
Probably.
Maybe you want to cut it out when it dries and
Because you love watermelon so much.
glue it to a separate piece of construction paper?
Yeah, don't need it.
So if you go outside of the lines, it's okay. Maybe you want to cut it out.
I'm putting it out. So I'm covering.
Okay, so I'm going to wait for that to dry. And while that's drying, I can clean my brush, right? Tap, tap, tap on the bottom. Good, I hear someone tapping.
Me.
Good. And then dab, dab, dab
I know my name's you.
on the paper towel. So I'm done with my red. I'm going to move it off to the side.
My name's you. Tap for the green part.
Right. Very good. Now it's time for the green part.
Mine's set up.
Now's a good time to switch out your water because look, I don't want to use this water if it's all red. So let's go ahead and dump our water and get new clean water.
I don't need clean water now. I'm almost done with clean water. Oh god, that's bad.
Let's dump out our water and get new clean water. Very good. Now I'm ready for the green. My green's gonna go at the top. Ah, shoot. My phone. It's low battery. Oh, hold on.
Do you have your charger with you?
No. I need this off.
The whole thing?
Yep. Hold on, everybody.
I'm trying to make a masterpiece.
Okay, there we go.
And then dab, 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 dab.
Okay, so when you're ready, let's go ahead and paint the top part. The top part where we hold the watermelon is green.
Yeah, we'll hold it by the red part and eat it like this. No, we'll hold it by the red part.
And it's up to you if you want it really dark green. Add less water to your brush. If you want it really light green, add more water to your brush. Oh, that's looking great. Looks like the green and the red are mixing a little. That's neat.
I don't care if I get. I don't care if I don't.
And like I said, if you go outside of the lines, it's okay. We can cut these out when they dry. We can cut them out and glue them on a separate piece of construction paper. We have lots of construction paper in your pack. Back and forth. Oh, painting's so relaxing to me. I love it.
I like killing my siblings.
Good. Okay, now it looks like, oh, our red paint is still wet. Our red paint is too wet for the seeds. So let's go ahead, let's clean our brush.
Mine's dry.
Is yours dry already? Mine's a little wet. So let's go ahead, let's get out our sketchbooks. We're gonna get out our sketchbooks and open up to a new page. Okay, let's open up to a new page in our sketchbook. And this time we're going to make a curved line. Let's trace that in Sharpie.
You don't know the struggle I'm going through, Grace.
Okay, now what does that curved line remind you of? What can you turn that curved line into? You can, oh, a circle. You can turn your sketchbook.
I'm a genius. I'm a genius.
Maybe it looks like something this way. Maybe it reminds you of something this way.
A smiley face. Yes, a smiley face.
Oh, a smiley face.
I made a clown.
Oh, I love that.
A gumdrop.
Let me see, let me see. Oh, awesome. My phone's about to die. Do you have a charger? It's a 7.
I guess the new charger.
Oh, these are great.
Now mine's a clown.
So go ahead, let's turn it into something. You can use your colored pencils. You can use your crayons, your markers.
We don't have any markers. I don't really care. We don't have any gear markers. Let's pull it out.
Is that when you start with the third line and then turn it into?
First, I'm gonna pull it out.
That's the frosting.
Now you're everybody can see it. Everybody can see it. Yes, that's right.
Reach. Yes, that's still not gonna.
Color. This is my smiley face.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, that's not.
Pretty.
Using the string.
I made a clown. I made a clown. I made a clown.
Oh, I love the clown.
The clown's beautiful.
Will it do what everybody else is doing? Or
The clown's
Wow, these are really great.
how do we do it?
beautiful. Oh my god. We're done laughing for like 15
It just
minutes.
doesn't reach.
I'm gonna be chunky face. Yeah, never be chunky face. Chunky face. I'm better at it, so you be complaining. Take one. I'm not looking. I can't laugh in class. Well, I've been listening, but I don't really care. I'm gonna go home and say, nobody really.
Okay, we'll take a few more minutes. Good.
And then he has a blue mustachio. And green mustachio. My clown has a beard and a mustache.
Oh, awesome.
It says 76.
Mom. I made the clown, but now she has some improvements. Yeah. I just
Celery named it Daddy.
I named it Daddy
Ah, that's so funny.
because that's how my bed looks.
Oh,
Clown? Yep. He has a big nose. He has a green mustache. Remember that.
okay.
Wait, oh yeah. Right.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna check my watermelon, see if it's dry.
Mine's dry.
Yours is dry?
Mine's dry. Touch my hair. I will sharpen you.
Is yours dry? Mine's still wet.
Mine's still dry. Wait, did I? Mine's dry.
Is anyone's wet? Anyone's watermelon wet?
No. Wet? No.
Okay,
Mine's dry.
if it's dry, let's start in pencil and go ahead and draw the seeds first.
Show me the seeds in the book.
Okay, let's look at the seeds in the book first.
Nobody cares. I'm just. I pin up my arm. Yeah, circles. That's good.
Let's look at the seeds in the book first. Do you see how they're like ovals?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start in pencil first.
My watermelon has a lot of seeds. That's how much seeds are done.
Good.
It's a returning cloud.
We'll start in pencil first. Here's mine I've started.
I've already finished.
You can add as many as you want.
I added as many as I want. No, he's gonna have a stick body. Nobody cares. Facebook.
And then when you're done in pencil,
I am. I finished the part that I was on.
when we're done in pencil, we can color in with our black Sharpie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love Sharpies. Because I like the smell of them. Stop leaning on my stuff. That's not your thing.
And you can have as many seeds as you want.
This is mine.
Do you want a lot of seeds? Do you want not many seeds? It's up to you.
This magazine is literally.
Now, if you have scissors, does anyone have scissors nearby? You can leave it like this if you want. Or, I think I want to cut mine out
Go get me a color. Grab me a color.
and glue it on a separate piece of construction paper.
In my bag, pick your favorite color of construction paper.
So if you want, you can try that also. You can cut it out and glue it on a separate piece of construction paper. Okay, I can't wait to see yours.
Okay, thanks, put down.